Oh my days. Ladies and gentlemen, listen here. I'm going to tell you this for a fact. You see this set of housemates? They are weird. They are weird. They are very, very unusual individuals, very unusual personalities. Because tell me why these people were partying so hard last night, eh? Tell me why they were partying so hard as if they actually won their wager. These people lost their wager. But the way they were partying, yeah. Oh my goodness. The pool party was a blast. They lost their wager, but they were having the time of their life at the pool party. And so I just could not decide if it was because Ebuka had pointed it out during the live eviction share on Sunday that the pool party was sort of neat, that just a few people were dancing, and then he gave honorable mentions, or if it was because they were trying to really dance away their sorrows, because it was a blast. And see, last night was an actual pool party because out of all the housemates, I think only three did not get into the water. Yeah. Nomy did not join the party, so she was lying in bed. Someone said she had cramps. I don't know. Yeah. But Godessa and Araga did not, get into the pool. But the whole house experienced the pool like they were in the water. They had so much fun. And a lot of things were happening inside that pool. Oh my goodness. A lot was happening inside that pool. And it wasn't just about the pool party itself, the aftermath of the pool party. There were things that were happening, conversations that were had. And ladies and gentlemen, oh my God, I just cannot wait to get into all of that. Now, my apologies that I am not analyzing the wage representation on this video, guys. There's just so much to analyze about the wage representation and, of course, Big Brother's verdict. And if I do so on this video is going to be too lengthy. So I'm trying to keep it really moderate, all right? So there's going to be another video where I really analyze the wage representation. And of course, there were other conversations that actually happened before the wage representation. So I'm going to add all of that to my next video, all right? But for this one, we're going to focus on the pool party, everything that happened, and the aftermath of the pool party, all right? So please make sure to watch this video to the end. Don't skip. Don't skip the videos. I always say don't skip because by the time I go through the comment section, I see people asking me questions about things I already took out time to analyze on the video. So please make sure you watch the video to the end so that you get the full details of the analysis, all right, and the lineup of events that happened in the house, all right? And also, before going ahead, ladies and gentlemen, a quick reminder that 2 days from now, Saturday, we're going to be converging here for our YouTube live conversation happening by 3 p.m. WAT here in this community, on this channel, here on YouTube. So you all are especially welcome, all right? I look forward to hosting all of you and interacting with all of you. There's just a lot to dissect, all right? And yeah, this video would not be complete without your comments, all right, without your contributions in the comment section below. So please, I look forward to reading your thoughts in the comment section below. And you're all specially welcome once again to my channel. My name is Gloria Elijah. This is Frankly Speaking with Gloria Elijah, and I am the girl with the tea. Without further ado, let's quickly dive right into the details of this video. Now, the pool party last night was the perfect description of young, wild, and free, because that was how all the housemates were behaving. And it was beautiful to see that their spirit was not dampened by the loss of the wager. Although, speaking about the wager, I know that this weekend might be very chaotic and dramatic. There might be a lot of fights because of food, because they are currently short of food. Yes. However, just watching them losing up, having fun, taking off their wigs, especially for the girls, getting into the pool, those who wore makeup, still wore their makeup, got into the pool, had so much fun, guys. It was beautiful to watch. It was beautiful to experience them, experience the party itself for themselves. I mean, guys, there was no dull moment. Everybody was having so much fun. There were people who were pairing up and dancing like there's no tomorrow, and some of them were a shocker, yes. And for others, I mean, it was quite expected because they're already an item in the house. Of course, worthy of mentioning is first Godessa and Araga. After their love declarations to each other 2 evenings ago, they were glued to each other. Yeah, they were literally glued to each other. They were dancing. It was beautiful to see. Araga was not leaving her side. However, as much as it was beautiful to see, I still feel like Araga needs to unlatch himself a bit from Godessa and try to mingle more with the rest of the house. Because, hey, God, shipping no they carry person win show like that again. No, like, dude, you have to be more than just the lover of Godessa. Like, it doesn't make sense. And even with the dancing that we were doing, Godessa was still the main character. She has got the main character energy, you know, and it's, even though he was right behind her, rocking her, it still felt like there was nobody beside Godessa. She was still the star that I was seeing, right? So I don't know. Anyways, they were dancing, and then there was also Neche and Barry. Oh my days. Guys, ladies, Barry has been saying unashamedly to everyone who cares to listen, whenever they asked, that he likes Neche, and from time to time he makes her breakfast, and Neche loves the attention. She enjoys it, right? You know, looking at the fact that it doesn't seem like there's going to be anything happening between herself and Ricky anytime soon, and she wants to play that game of a guy chasing her, she playing hard to get, and probably later succumbing or whatever. She was reciprocating the energy. Outside the pool, inside the pool, they danced so much. However, Neche and Barry, they did not stick to each other alone, because Neche danced with a lot of people, girls, guys. It was fun. She was having the time of her life. Barry as well was having so much fun with other people. You know, were dancing with other people. Now, another set of people who were dancing and having so much fun was Kamsi and her man. Or probably her man, because one of them has decided to step down. Yeah. So Kamsi was dancing with Gerard, and later on she will go and dance with Chimsom, and she was dancing erotically with Chimsom. And then she was dancing with Sultex, and Sultex literally carried her on his chest, her legs suspended up there, and then her neck was like this, you know, on the water, and then they were dancing. It was really, really PG-18 type of shit. And it was just going on and on and on, and she was really wriggling that bomb, you know, here and there, here and there. And I was looking at this girl, and I was thinking, you're just running shift from this guy to this guy to this guy. Is this actually your idea of trying to unlock princess treatment from these guys? Because at some point, it was looking a bit too much. And later on, Gerard was talking about it with one or two persons in the kitchen who were asking him, you know, about Kamsi. And he said, well, officially, he has removed himself from that situationship because he has made his intentions known to her, but he cannot have his girl dancing with every guy. I mean, he doesn't have any problems with guys wanting to dance with her, but it is for her to decide who she wants to dance with and how she dances with them. But she was just everywhere. She was just all over the place. And the housemates too, in the kitchen at that point in time, they were, you know, agreeing that she was everywhere. Or, you know, she was just backing up the ass everywhere and everywhere. Sultex even came into the kitchen and said, there your babe. Nah, you know, not like in a derogatory manner, but just like, man, she was just giving it up to everybody and anybody. But we'll get to that conversation much later because there was a lot to it. Now, Kamsi was dancing with these guys, and as I said, it was a bit much because it was like she was just giving it up to everybody. And at some point, Chimsom carried her with her coochie to his face. I said, Kamsi, oh, my sister. Hey, take it easy, Bikonu. Like, girl, she was just... Anyways, no judgment zone, but she was having the time of her life, and there's no judgments to that. Now, there was also Keivo, Bluthopia, and Tammy. Now, everybody is calling Keivo Tammy's husband and vice versa, and both of them are not contesting it. They like each other. Keivo makes her bed, he makes her food, teaches her how to cook. They're good with each other. And Keivo has said publicly that he likes her, he fancies her. However, it was quite a huge surprise for me seeing the way Keivo was dancing and carrying Bluthopia in the pool. Like the way Chimsom carried, what's her name now, Kamsi, Keivo kept on carrying Bluthopia on his shoulder, like the coochie was really close to his face. And I was wondering, like, what is going on here? These guys, are you people so horny that you just want to perceive the scent of a woman's coochie? Maybe that's going to give you the release you want. It was even making me wonder, I hope people are not releasing inside this water before the person that will come back, come and be seeing evidence everywhere. Because what is going on? People are just carrying people, inhaling the scent of coochie. Like, what the hell is wrong with these children? Guys, I'm sorry, but I was seeing things and my mind was interpreting things. This is what were making me think dirty talk. Like, these housemates were making me think really nasty shit. Oh my God, guys, I'm so sorry. I know I have a dirty mind. I know. I am working on it. I'm working on cleansing my mind. Anyways, the pool party was a blast, as I've said before. However, that was a spectacular show, which, in my opinion, was more like a marking of territory and an official declaration of this is who we are, this is what we are, we're official now. And this was between Gadesa and Araga. Most people had come out of the pool, at this point in time, were dancing in front of the mirrors, and both of them decided to kiss at the center of it all. And so most of the housemates gathered around them, hyping them up, and they were kissing and kissing and kissing for a while. And yeah, that was that. Yusuf and Bells, I forgot to mention that they were in the pool having fun as well. And then they came out and then they were grinding on each other. And it was so interesting that at the pool party, they were like bread and butter. But after the pool party, Bells was upset with Yusuf. We're going to get to that part, all right? But yeah, overall, housemates had a blast. They had so much fun, all right? Now, fast forward to after the pool party, they tried to play a game of truth or dare, and it was so unfortunate. Yes, unfortunate that it was Bluthopia that was the game's master or game's mistress, because I'm sorry, but she was just too childish for it. Yeah, it would have been better if someone else or Gerard, who did it before, handcalled it this time around, because she was just saying some very amateurish shit. I'm sorry, but it just did not make sense. But yeah, they tried to keep it flowing. Yeah, and during the truth or dare game, Kamsi was asked who she would pick. I can't even remember how Bluthopia phrased the question, but I think it was something about picking between Gerard and Chimsom. And then she said, oh, since Gerard had rejected her and said he doesn't want to have anything to do with her anymore, that it definitely has to be Chimsom. And I was confused, like, what the hell is going on? Now, it wasn't until later that a conversation was had in the kitchen where some people were teasing Gerard about, oh, won't you go and get your girl? Won't you go and get your girl? And Gerard said no, that Kamsi is not his girl, that his girl will show people that, oh, this guy is my man. But Kamsi is not doing that. That Kamsi is all over the place. That he doesn't even have a problem with Kamsi being all over the place. He has been aware that Kamsi has been, having conversations with Chimsom, and he has asked Kamsi, and she has said, oh, they are just guys, they are just friends. But then, watching her, activities in the pool, at the pool party, it was quite taken aback because of the way they were dancing erotically, the way she was, backing it up to almost any and every guy, and the way Sultex carried her, the way Chimsom carried her, like, it was just too much, because for him, he doesn't mind if his girl dances with people, but he expects her to know how to, carry herself in that dance. It was just too much for him to handle. And he's the kind of guy that If he has a girl, that is his girl. He expects her to know how to conduct herself around people. But Kamsi was just all over the place. So he's not interested in that kind of drama. And so he has washed his hands off Kamsi. He's not interested, Let Chimsom have her. And, some of the people in the kitchen were also concurring that, oh, it was actually much. Yeah, that it was just too much the way Kamsi was doing it. And guys, I kind of agree. I remember I said that this game that Kamsi wants to play, she's playing this game between two very smart guys. So will she be able to control that triangle, or will the triangle take over her or overwhelm her? And ladies and gentlemen, seeing Gerard walk away now, or probably walking away for just this time because they still have, 8 more weeks in the house, will he go back to her? Will they have another conversation? I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. Now, after the games and all of that, there was a conversation that Ricky was having with Mercedes. Ladies and gentlemen, it did not even seem like an actual conversation because Ricky was acting horny last night. He was acting so horny and needy. He was literally not begging per se, but really insisting on sleeping in Mercedes' bed. But Mercedes kept on refusing. She said no, that she doesn't share a bed and she doesn't want to share her bed. So the guy was, complaining about the wager presentation, how he was demoted, and Mercedes does not seem interested in listening to that conversation. So Ricky needed someone to listen to him, but I wanted to cuddle, and then he said he wanted a massage. He wanted Mercedes to give him a massage, and she said not tonight, that she was really tired. She wasn't doing anything. And the guy was like, oh, you want me to leave? She said, oh, you leave, bye. And then he left. He left, and then he went to SHEBA. Now, I must mention that during the Truth or Dare game, Ricky had been asked who he really wanted to kiss, and he had said SHEBA. He had said SHEBA because right there in the lounge, there was Neche and Barry all cozied up together. Barry was holding Neche. Neche was leaning into Barry. And the way Ricky was looking at both of them, you could tell that he was quite upset about it. So he probably mentioned SHEBA's name to get back at Neche, or probably had a genuine attraction to SHEBA. Guys, I don't know. Because later on in the garden, these two, that is Ricky and SHEBA, they were flirting heavily with each other, and Ricky was going on and on about how he wanted to kiss her, he missed kissing, and SHEBA was playing hard to get, but then she told him that no, she doesn't miss kissing, she actually misses kissing assholes. I'm like, okay, I don't want to take that literally. I don't want to take that literally now because it sounded so cringe. But, they kept on flirting. He wanted to kiss her. At some point, she stood up, wanted to lean in, but then she kept on refusing him. And then they sat down having conversations. They even broached the subject of who the gambit was. And Ricky said he suspected Tram and Neche. He was citing scenarios. SHEBA felt like it would be Nomy because Nomy was breaking so many rules, and she was making it very obvious that there was some sort of leverage that she has in the game that nobody else has, which was, made a lot of sense, but then they were just speculating. And then later on, Ricky had stood up again. I was still trying to cajole SHEBA into kissing, and SHEBA kept on refusing and rejecting and dodging. I said, this guy, are you so horny? What's going on? What's going on between your legs? Caution that man between your legs, otherwise. I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. But anyways, moving on, Flora and Oyin. They were talking about things happening in the house, right? And Oyin, or rather Flora, was saying that she's going to scatter a lot of ships in the house because Oyin observed that, a lot of people are beginning to pair up. And Flora said, no, that she's going to scatter a lot of ships in the house, that just like she was able to successfully bring Yusuf and Bells together, that she's going to break a ship. And then she told Oyin, okay, mention a ship you want me to break. And Oyin said, puff, puff, that is Chimsom and Kamsi's ship. And she then asked Flora, okay, how are you going to go about it? How are you going to break it? And Flora said that she's going to, first of all, begin to talk things into Gerard's mind, trying to convince Gerard that it is him that Kamsi actually likes, and Chimsom is not really serious about Kamsi. So they were talking about it that way, and then the cameras left. And guys, I was so pissed because I really wanted to hear how Kamsi was going to do that. Because Gerard does not seem like the kind of guy that you can talk things into his ears and then he's going to listen to you and do what you say. Yeah. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that was that conversation. And then there was the conversation between Kamsi and Chimsom in bed. Kamsi was quite upset about the way she and Sultex had danced together. She kept on saying that she felt like she was drowning because the guy suspended her legs when he carried her, and she was fighting so hard to breathe. Her face was getting into the water, that she was not happy about it. And Chimsom kept on telling her that, okay, this is a conversation you should have with this guy. Because for him, he felt like both of you were having fun, but you were struggling, were fighting for your life. So you need to tell him. And she was like, she was sort of hesitant, like she doesn't know how it's going to make him feel. And Chimsom said, no, you don't know this guy from Adam. Both of you just met like just a week ago. So you need to tell him how you feel. You owe it to yourself. So they were still going on and on about it. And she was really complaining. And then the cameras left them. And I was left thinking that, okay, what I saw during the pool party, it looked like you, Kamsi, were having so much fun. You were carried away in the moment. If really you were fighting for your life, as you tried to put it, if really you were struggling to breathe, if really you felt like you were drowning, you should have immediately stopped dancing with Sultex. Because now, the way you're talking about it, you're making it look like the guy was deliberately trying to drown you on live TV. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't really make sense. The next conversation was between Bells. Now, the next conversation was between Bells, Mercedes, and Yusuf. Bells was upset with Yusuf. She wasn't particularly specific about what he had done to upset her, but she was saying that she felt like she had become too available to this guy. And a number of things that has built up, over time, or was it suddenly? Guys, I don't even know. Because was it not last night? Not this last night, 2 nights ago. They were literally dry humping. Yusuf was telling Ricky that he almost actually had sex. He had to hold back. Yeah. So they were doing a lot. So she was saying that she felt like she had become too available to this guy. So she doesn't want to sleep in his bed anymore. And so she was going to sleep in her own bed. Now, Mercedes kept on cajoling her, sort of begging her to go to Yusuf's bed. And Yusuf was like, he doesn't even know, why she's really upset, but he thinks he has an idea. And then he was saying that, he did not ask her to come to his bed. That when they came to the room, he only told her good night. And then he went to his own bed. And that really upset her because she was expecting him to say, come to my bed. And then he said, okay, if I ask her now, I think she will come. And then he asked Bells, if I ask you to come to my bed, will you come to my bed? And Bells said, no. Now, I don't know if there was some sort of tussle between them, whether it was Yusuf that tried to come and carry her to his bed or the other way around. I don't know, but the cameras was not showing them. Instead, the cameras were showing Mercedes laughing at the whole situation, right? But then Bells decided to stay in her bed. Now, I don't know if both of them spent the night together again because the things they were doing inside that pool and outside the pool. See, I was already setting my cameras and waiting to see the action that will happen tonight. But I guess Bells had a rethink about the whole situation. I don't know. I'm going to listen to their conversations today to hear if they will give away anything, all right? But in a way as well, I was sort of relieved that they did not spend the night together because I totally agree with Bells. She's being too available to Yusuf. So I give him space a bit, unless it was going to happen. Yeah. Now, moving on, there was a conversation between Nomy and Cassie in the Head of House Lounge. It was quite interesting to listen to Nomy talking to Cassie about her bestie, Tammy, describing her in some very unflattering ways, right? So she said Tammy is very indecisive, but decisive. Now, she gave an example that Tammy is the sort of person that would ask you, should I choose between black or white? You tell her to choose black. You give her so many reasons. You convince her. She will listen to you, yap everything, and then she will end up going for black. Why did she say so? They've had conversations. Tammy has complained to her that, she doesn't like Barry because Barry doesn't talk to her. She's not going to be talking to Barry anymore. And then, lo and behold, Temi is talking to Barry, that it just shows that Temi likes attention too much. She likes people listening to her. That's why she's very loud, you know, always being all over the place, talking to any and everybody. And that's why also Temi is always coming to her, Nomy, 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 always shouting, Nomy, Nomy, Nomy. Sometimes she open the door and say, Nomy, are you okay? Nomy, are you there? You know, that's why she wants their friendship so bad. You know, I mean, if Nomy was talking about somebody else like that, it's quite understandable, because I'll just conclude, okay, yeah, that's Nomy's behavior. But this is her so-called bestie in the house, and she was so comfortable saying all of that about Temi to Cassie. Guys, it just made me wonder, like, girl, you don't have any friends in this house, so you are on your own in this house. You make it look like you really do have friends, but you don't. And a lot of people on the internet are saying that, oh, this is the kind of friend that's like a friendly enemy. She comes to you like she likes you, but she really doesn't like you because she'll be tearing you down behind your back. Well, it might look that way, but the way I see it is, nobody came to this house with anybody. Everybody signed up for this show on their own. Everybody is here to win the money for themselves. For all we know, Temi could as well be playing Nomy, just as Nomy just obviously revealed herself now that she's also in a way playing Temi. And whatever they had for Nomy is possibly just an alliance and nothing that deep, nothing that serious. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. And another thing was, listening to that conversation, I was sort of, you know, worried. And the reason is, these two girls have had conversations yesterday about forming an alliance and also talking to certain people to join the alliance ahead of conspiracy hour. So what Nomy is doing is trying to be friendly with as much people as she can, so that when people are being called into the conspiracy room, she and Temi will be called as many times as the likes of Godessa and Neche were called, and also SHEBA. So Temi has been doing the work. Nomy has not been doing the work. So now it's making me wonder that, hold on a second, it might seem as though Nomy is the kind of friend who only wants you to be friends with people that both of you agree to be friends with and people agree to be talking to. Anybody else outside of that, then she sees you as a backstabber. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comment section below, all right? Because this is where I'm going to end this video. I'm going to see you on my next video very soon, all right? But in the meantime, go ahead, share your contributions in the comment section below, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching. Have an amazing day.